start with the public hearing to consider determination of similar use request for the property located at 4009 Orange Place, Orange Village, Ohio, 44122, to permit an RH gallery to be located in the PMUD zoning district. Is there anybody here who'd like to speak on that? I don't think so. So we can close the public hearing. Anna, if you'd call roll, please.
What was
Say
that?
that again?
Kurland, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
Charnis,
Yes.
Klein,
Here.
Silver,
Yes, here.
Vincent,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Duber.
I'm here. I'll make a motion to approve the final order and decision of council with conclusions of fact for the determination of similar use request of Orange Place Development LLC for property located at 4009 Orange Place. Is there a second?
Second.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Any questions on any of that? Comments, concerns? If not, if you could call roll, please, Anna.
Kurland,
Yes.
Charnis. Well, did he say yes? I didn't hear.
Microphone not working again?
No,
Sorry.
you're good.
Okay, Klein,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the treasury report fiscal year 2021, January 2022.
Before we do
Oh.
that, if we could, folks, could you swing by within the next couple of days and sign that final order, which will have the original with Anna?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to do that.
Is it out tomorrow? Oh, I don't know if I can get there tomorrow, but
No, it should just be done within the next few days.
okay.
All right, so did we second that? I think we did, right? All right.
Wait, who seconded? I
don't
didn't.
know. Did
Stephen
anybody
Murphy.
second that?
Everybody seconded.
I'll
No,
second
that
it.
was the other one.
Okay, Stacy
second
seconded it. Stacy already.
Thank you.
Stacy just took care of it. Thank you. Dana.
Good evening. You have the cash account summary for January, showing that we have $10,137,782.56 in the bank account. On the summary, you show January revenues from all funds of $862,706.44 and expenditures for all funds of $753,283.98. It was January, there was nothing, just, normal day-to-day operational costs. And you have the general funds line item details for January. We're at 8%, which is 1/12 of the year. And there's a few line items that the variances are higher as a result of us paying like the annual insurance bills. We've paid annual dues or just timing of when we're paying certain things for January that exceeds 1 month.
Anybody have any comments, questions for Dana? If you call roll, please.
Kurland,
Yes.
Charnis,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes, and I'll make a motion to approve the tax administrator's report for January 2022. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Berry. Dana, if you would again, please.
Okay, you have the January tax administrator's report, and for the month of January, our total collections, gross collections were $531,810.43, which is $178,700 approximately higher than where we were last year for January. And so we're looking pretty good for the month of January in our collections. You'll see you have a gross tax monthly revenue report showing how that compares to the other Januaries for the last 3 years. And then you have the monthly cumulative.
Good. Anybody have any questions for Dana? Okay, thank you, Dana. Anna, if you call roll, please.
Sure. Kurland,
Yes.
Charnas,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Vincent,
yes,
Perry,
Yes.
Duper.
Yes. Discussion of the bills to be paid in the month of March in the amount of $178,527.02 and additional February expenses in the amount of $132,727.25. Anybody have questions on the bills? All right. The audience comments relating to agenda items. I don't think there's really an audience. I don't think Jordan Burns counts. Moving on to ordinance 2022-4. An ordinance declaring improvements to real property within Orange Village, Ohio to be public purpose, exempting such improvements from real property taxation, requiring the owners of the property to make service payments in lieu of real property taxes, establishing an urban redevelopment tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of service payments, making related authorizations pursuant to Ohio Revised Code sections 5709.41, 0.42, 43, and 83. And declaring emergency. It's not for second reading. All right, so back to my question from before. Price, is there, or have all the conditions been met to move forward on this yet?
No,
Okay. All right, that was a nice simple answer. Is there any,
Price, what's outstanding that has to?
the property is still in the process of being transferred to the village. So they, the Developers Council has provided or is preparing a limited warranty deed to the village. And then that needs to be recorded and then a quitclaim deed back to ST Realty, the current owner of the property. There needs to be sign off from both the city of Warrensville Heights and the Warrensville Heights City School District on the proposed compensation agreement before council is in a position to act on this TIF ordinance.
Okay. All right, so there are a number of boxes that need to be checked that may take a little bit of time to get done. Okay.
I think everyone involved is trying to, proceed with all diligence toward this effort. But there are just a number of boxes, and as you can imagine, with various parties involved, logistics.
is it okay to wait till the first meeting next month, or is this something that needs some kind of expedited for any real reason?
We have not heard anything to indicate that this needs to be expedited sooner than the regular meeting schedule.
Oh, it would seem it can't get expedited any faster than all the other boxes have to be checked in order to advance it. There seems to be a lot of things that aren't in our court to be able to do that.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, so Lawrenceville Heights have to sign the two things they have to do before we do the deed. What's the timing on that? Or does it not really matter?
No, not before the deed. The conveyance of the property was authorized by the ordinance that was adopted at last week's meeting. So all of those actions by the village's point of view have been taken. The conveyance can happen. It's going right back to the to ST Realty as the current owner. And so that sets up the opportunity once we get all the other, as Councilmember Klein said, all the boxes checked, that we would be in a position to take the further steps. But everything is kind of going as, I guess, expected.
Any other comments from anyone or questions for Bryce or Matt or anyone? All right. Thank you for your hard work this pay period. Moving on to new business, ordinance 2022-5, and ordinance accepting for maintenance the improvements within the right of way of Lake Placid Court which constitutes phase 6 of the Lakes of Orange subdivision development. This is on for first reading. Steve, did you want to discuss this a bit?
Sure. The roadway area is dedicated. That happens early on in the process. And then the developer constructs the improvements within the dedicated right of way. And according to Brian Mader, they're 9/10 of the way done. There are, I guess, a couple of little things that need to be tweaked that will be done before this ordinance gets to planning and zoning and comes back here to council for final approval. When it comes back to you, the engineer will have signed off and said, yeah, we're good to go. And then the construction bond is replaced by a maintenance bond for the 3 years that the cost of repairing the road would be borne by the developer. But we would take over the maintenance in terms of snow plowing and that sort of thing.
Do we have to refer this to planning commission or?
Yes,
what?
This is
you're
first reading
referring
this
this
evening, and then
Angie.
it goes to planning and zoning.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything else on this? Okay, referred to planning. Moving on to resolution 2022-1, a resolution supporting the request of Cuyahoga County's arts and culture sector to the Cuyahoga County Executive and Cuyahoga County Council for $5 million in American Rescue Act funding to help arts and culture businesses, nonprofits, and individual artists recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Judd, since this was your initiative, I guess, here in bringing this forward, you can make a motion if you want.
I would like to make a motion for the adoption of this resolution.
And I will second that. And do you want to go ahead and?
Yeah, let me give you a little background on what this is. As you know, the arts and culture community represents a fairly significant economic contribution to Northeast Ohio. And they have struggled mightily over the last several years due to the COVID pandemic. And we've lost a lot of jobs and a lot of businesses as a result. There was money that was allocated to it through the CARES Act 2 years, a year and a half ago. There's another opportunity here through the funds that will be available through the ARPA. And $240 million is going to the county for their distribution and use. The arts and culture section is requesting that $5 million of that be contributed to the arts and culture organizations. It will be administered through Cuyahoga Arts and Culture, which is the funding mechanism that was created through the cigarette tax program, and is the source for funding for all of the arts and cultural institutions in Northeast Ohio. They have previously, I was the chair of the public policy subcommittee of what was called the Northeast Ohio Arts and Culture Caucus. That has been absorbed into a new organization that was just established this past summer called the Assembly for the Arts. They've become the acting advocacy group for arts and culture in Northeast Ohio. And I've re-engaged with them and have brought along all of the former members of that public policy committee to work with them in helping to advance the interests of the arts and culture community of our region. And this resolution was developed to go before the county council to encourage both county council and county executive to dedicate these funds to the arts and culture community. It represents about a 0.05%. Cleveland is being asked for a larger percentage because they got more money than the county. And so we have asked all of the members of the group who serve on various councils to bring this resolution before their various councils and pass it so that then can be forwarded along to the Assembly for the Arts and delivery to the county council and county executive. So I ask for your support and approval of this resolution so we can move it forward. Secondarily to that, there was a letter that I circulated amongst you that I've written on behalf of this group to the county executive and county council, and would welcome your support on that letter to be co-signers for that letter as well. So are there any questions?
I have, maybe it's a silly question, but is this a common thing to sort of request the county to act in a certain way?
I think you broke up there. I didn't get your question, Amanda.
I said, is it a common thing to request the county to act in a certain way?
I don't know that I could necessarily answer that question. That it comes about because the county is being the beneficiary of a funding from the government, federal government, that can be used for a variety of purposes, and this is one of those purposes that it can be applied. And so the opportunity is there for this group to petition the county to include in their budget of the use of these funds for the arts and culture sector.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Amanda?
Yeah, I just seem, I mean, I think it's a nice thing to do. I think it's probably the right thing to do. It just seemed kind of like, I don't know. I didn't know if that was something that's standard to try to sway.
Steve, do you have any other insight for Amanda on that?
This is a policy advocacy position. You have the authority to request any level of government to perform any action. This is a sense of counsel, and it's a policy choice that council members can make.
I mean, generally speaking, we don't do tons of resolutions like this, but that doesn't mean that it's inappropriate or anything like that. So, any other questions for anyone? Okay. Hannah, if you would call roll, please.
Berlin,
Yes.
Harness,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes.
Thank you.
Judd, I'll be happy to send the letter too. If you want to, if you need
Put your
my
name on the
signature,
list.
just take that.
I'll put your name on the list.
Thank you.
Moving on to audience comments relating to matters which advance the good of the village. There is no audience, so comments by the mayor, comments by the council president, both are me today. I don't really have any comments. So, Mrs. Perry.
I have no comments either.
All right, Mr. Silver.
I have nothing.
All right, Mrs. Curlin.
I'm just gonna piggyback on what Brent said last time about in-person meetings. I went to one yesterday for obviously a different thing, but it was wonderful. It was the first time I'd seen people in 2 years, and just really, it's a different feel when you're in the same room with people. So just putting that out there.
It's been noted.
And then the only other thing is I handed out new resident packets, and very few people were home, but the people I met were very friendly, and I was excited to welcome them into Orange. That's all.
Good, thanks for doing that.
Amanda, in that regard, I
Yeah.
noticed that you said, or earlier said something to Anna that one of the houses you went to doesn't exist. Why do we
Yes.
have a packet for a new resident?
I think that the county puts them on as being there, but I don't know.
I think I can
I
probably.
mean, sometimes people
if
can
you'd
buy
like.
property and
And I get the
It's not.
information from the county every month about properties that transfer. So if it transferred from Pulte to the homeowner, sometimes it transfers before they build the house. Sometimes they buy the lot from like the builder. But that's why I send Amanda out there or whoever to go check, and then they bring it back to me and we keep an eye on it.
Thanks.
Mr. Charnas. All right. Mr. Klein.
Strangely enough, I have no comments. You've addressed my issue of the day. Planning
All right.
Commission doesn't meet till next week, so I have nothing new to report there.
All right, Ms. Vincent, no comments? All right. Well, I'll make a motion to,
You know that's not going to be the case. Special shout out to all the women on this call and in our community in honor of International Women's Month and the day yesterday. Thanks for inspiring future generations like you do. Understanding and acknowledging the worker shortage happening in our country and in our own backyards. Orange High School is making an effort to do something about it. The school will be hosting a job fair on March 30th for OHS students during their lunch period. The goal is really to connect students with local businesses to help them find jobs that will further engage them to build life skills and at the same time help all of the businesses too. And I'm sharing this with you and hopefully anyone who's listening, because if anyone is in need of high school aged workers for your businesses, please get in touch with me or with Mrs. Petronsky or Mrs. Noy. I can get you their information by March 19th, so we can get you on the list for that job fair. Congratulations to one of our state-bound wrestlers and also to all of our mock trial students who live in district, especially who are competing at states beginning tomorrow. If you weren't able to attend the anxiety panel discussion at the high school last week, the panelists were absolutely incredible and they offered quite a bit of guidance and support. And we all know that anxiety is something that really affects so many people these days. So if you have a chance to listen, even if it doesn't affect you, perhaps you can help somebody else. You can view the entire panel discussion on the Orange Schools website. Please check it out. And finally, a huge thank you to Mayor Mulcahy, Bob Zugan, Sergeant Marvin, and all of their teams for responding so quickly to the gaping hole in our Orange Hill development. I am grateful to resident Roberto Vargas for bringing it to our attention. Just a reminder to any resident who might be listening, might run into a similar issue, please don't hesitate to reach out directly to Mr. Zugan and our service department so that they can best assess the situation and address it accordingly. You guys are truly great at what you do and I appreciate it. Remember to spring forward this weekend and enjoy the additional sunlight. Thank you.
Brandon,
Right.
before we adjourn, doesn't everybody have to sign on the resolution as well? Doesn't that require everybody's signature? So when you go up to Village Hall to sign off on the finding the fact that we should do the other one too?
No, it's the same as it. No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
It's the same as any other ordinance.
Resolution.
It's it's
All right.
yeah. So it's just the mayor and council president. So
Okay. And in this case, it's the same person.
I'll sign
Today
it.
it's the same person.
The mayor can sign it when she gets back. I mean, it doesn't matter. We can figure it out.
Yeah.
And just before we go, Steve, just get in touch with me at some point about that deed. We can chat.
Will do.
I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Anna, if you call roll.
Erland,
Yes.
Charnas. Is he saying yes and I don't hear him?
Alan, it's time to give me a mic. You're really
Okay.
making Amanda's case and Brent's case really good here. You're not helping any causes.
Fine.
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Huber.
Yes. All right. Good night, everybody.
Happy spring.
Night.